Sure, thank you so much for inviting me. It's a great pleasure. Hi everyone, I'm Liu. I did my bachelor degree at IE as well as my master degree. I studied international relations for the bachelor, and then I took a gap year. Fortunately, during my gap year, I worked for IE as well. I was working at the technology school. And then I started my master program in management. In the last semester, I specialize in sales marketing. Right now, I received my offer from the Spanish University Complutense for my PhD degree. It's a PhD in history of international relations. And before I received my PhD offer, I was working at Amazon in the logistic department. I was leading a 60 people team. It was a really big team for a fresh graduate. But yeah, the experience was definitely amazing, and it was intense, but it was a very rapid growth. In terms of career development standpoint. I think that's my short introduction for my background. So I don't know if Tu would like to take the floor, and then we can start our conversation.
Thanks, Liu. Hi, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here and meet with everyone here. As I shared with Ashika, I was an Isaac girl as well. So, hey, Isaac, it was really nice to really feel and be part of this big and great organization. So I was in, so in my undergrad time, I was in Isaac, and I studied in RMIT University. After graduation, I worked in Ho Chi Minh City for Unilever and for Sri Lanka Bina, two big, fast moving consumer goods. After 4 years into working, I just decided to take a step up and enroll in the MBA program of IE Business School in partnership with SMU Business School in Singapore. It was like part-time MBA. The other time, I worked mainly virtually with the class. And after graduation, I'm currently working as HR manager for Workquant, a US company in fintech. Yeah.
Okay, thank you both for sharing a bit about yourselves and what you're currently doing. So I think the crux of today's panel discussion is basically back to school. And I think it'll be very ideal if, let's say, you guys can share with us why you decided to go back to school. I think that is a dilemma that most of us face, whether you want to go back and study, go on an internship, or immediately plunge into a career of your dreams. So I wanted to find out, firstly, from you, and then of course Tu, why did you decide to start with IE, or pursue your studies instead of working?
Yeah, I think first of all, as we all face when you recently graduate from college and you see that you want to raise your potential of your candidacy when you apply for jobs. So definitely when you hold a master diploma, will raise your competency in the labor market. And then I decided to take the main program at IE. First of all, it's because of the reputation, that sometimes ranking is important, and ranking involves many other things. For example, that the school has a very good resources in terms of professors, and the diversity is another index that I took into consideration when I decided to take my program. Apart from to raise the candidacy, I was, as I mentioned before, that I did my bachelor in international relations. So it was a very theoretical based program. And it actually doesn't help you much to join to the labor market. By the time I was not aware what the so-called business world is doing, and I don't know how to join to that world, how to contribute to myself. So that's why I took the management program instead of all the rest that that you have very wide array of options that by taking that main program, after that year, I definitely acquired the business mindset and the entrepreneurial spirit, because I was doing my own business plan at the end of the program. And yeah, that's business mindset. I can ensure that it really helped me to apply the jobs and face, and helped me to be more confident and prepare me in a very complex way to face to the labor market. So and then after I joined Amazon, and I think that year program helped me a lot to be a very potential candidate when I apply for jobs in big companies and big names.
Okay, thank you. And Tu, what about yourself? You were already working after your bachelor's. So what made you decide to start studying again? I know you did a part-time blended program, so you could continue your career as well. But it's not easy to be working and managing your personal life and your studies at the same time. So what made you decide, I'm going back to school? What was it?
Yeah, I think it's really about the why in you is what define your path, either at a company or back to school. And it also the very big reason the university will ask you to decide if you are suitable for that university, for that degree or not. You have to convince yourself, and also the recruitment panel. For myself, I started my career as a management trainee, focusing on HR. And after 4 years, working as a management trainee, working in multinational companies, I realized two things that I'm short of. The first thing is thinking business in a business perspective. As you're in HR, sometimes you're really occupied in operational tasks. You forgot to step back and really look at the big picture to see what it is like to lead and manage, especially in the business world. The second thing that I think that I need to learn, and that was why I think an MBA would help me, is to really build a network and build the diversity. Because if you want, in this time, if you want to work in a global company, if you want to progress higher at your ladder, you have to learn that. It's not about, English, it's not about that, or it's not about, about the culture, but it's really about you interact yourself, you have interaction with other different culture. You build like an open, up for change mindset, and learn how people see things differently. And that is, where you go back to school, because you find that a safe place for you to practice that. For example, at work, you send a very misleading culture related email, it's going to be an issue. But if at a school, you can really learn about that, because that's your friends, that's your classmates, and the professor is also willing to share that with you. So that are two things that I gain. I think that I need, and why I want to come back to school. Yeah.
Okay, so that's great. I like the way both of you shared that you wanted to basically get skills that you thought would make you business ready to get to the career world, and of course to the safe space that higher education gives you to hone the skills that you need to push your career forward. So yeah, very valid points as well. Thank you very much for being so candid. We have a question that is very related to the next question that I was going to ask. I'm sure you faced some challenges, some questions internally when you decided to pick a course or IE for that matter. So Liu, I think this question is more suitable for you, given that you did your bachelor's in international relations and did your master's in business management. Could you share, basically in response to Tinza's question, is it difficult to get a master's in something different from your bachelor's degree?
Yeah, definitely. First of all, as I said, that my bachelor degree was a very theoretical based one, and that's why I take the main program. So that shift from a theoretical based to a management based, it's a great change. Like you suddenly face to a world that you think you might not be able to hold, and then you realize that maybe your classmate that they come from a very diversity background, so maybe they face the same problem as I was facing, but at the very beginning you just think that other people can deal very good with the subject, with the whole program, except of you. So I was kind of having the peer pressure, that thinking, oh wow, my classmate was so excellent, and I might be the only one who don't know the finance subject, the accounting subject. So it was that gap, that I call it a knowledge gap, when you have a shift from your bachelor degree to your master degree. But it wasn't a big issue. I mean, I was worried about it, of course, but I think it's also like we need to encourage ourselves to face to that challenge, because once you overcome that fear, you just realize that you acquire more skills. And then the one important thing is you become more confident. And that's a world, the fast moving world, that you have every day different challenges you have to face, to different problems. So that courage and that confidence is, I think, are important for us for our future career or maybe daily life.
Okay, thank you. And Tu, what about yourself? Did you face any difficulty coming from an HR background to pursue an MBA?
I think that there are a lot of challenges in pursuing an MBA. You know that you always know that IE Business School MBA is a very prestige degree. It's top 5 in the world, and the courses are really challenges. Especially while I'm focused in HR, of course, that I have difficulty working, like in same subjects like logistics, supply chain, in operations or finance, those kind of areas. But it is what needed if you want to wear the business hat, especially at the C level or, like higher. So it really comes down to how you envision yourself, it really comes back to the why you're taking it. And if you can convince yourself, hopefully you can convince the recruitment panel to accept that you are suitable for the course, even though that you are not having what is required in bachelor. Another tip, I'm not saying tip, but another way that you could prepare for your master application is to, take part in extracurricular activities. So even though that you are in, like Bachelor of Arts of Communication, for example, but later on you want to work in business, or, in finance, you could take some kind of extracurricular activities, either a club or part-time jobs that, pursue that interest. So that could be a really nice add-on to your CV and could really show that you are prepared and you know what you're doing.
Okay, thank you. So I just wanted to add on to the points that Tu brought up. I think, it doesn't matter if you're doing a bachelor's degree that is very different from your master's, because at IE, they want to make sure that they have students from different industries, different backgrounds. So I think both Tu and Liu will agree with me that in the groups that they worked with in the masters, you will definitely have people from different backgrounds, whether it's culturally, nationality wise, or function and industry. So it doesn't really matter if, say, for example, you do your bachelor's in political science and then go on to pursue an MBA. What you can do in addition to academics is also to beef up your resume in terms of extracurricular activities, taking up a new language, new certifications. These are some ways in which not only to attend a university for higher education, but also in terms of a job search where you can prepare yourself to put your best foot forward. So these are some ways in which you can also prepare yourself. So back to the two of you, I wanted to personally ask you, did you face any challenges in picking the school of your choice or the program of your choice? What were some thoughts that were going through in your minds? How did you make this decision? Can you share a little bit more with us, please?
Yeah. I basically, as I mentioned before, apart from the reputation one, I want to take program because of the possibility wise landscape that the program offers, which means that once you join to that program, you have a lot of possibilities to discover what you really like to do, or where's your passion would be. You have lots of clubs, for example, to join, and that club might be have partnership or cooperate with cooperation with big companies that can provide you very practical case study to see how the labor market is working. And then one another thing I have mentioned before is the business plan I was doing at the end of the program, because I was participating in a business plan competition held by IE Business School, and then I had another one that was held by the Chinese government. So I took a chance to travel to China and visited the 5 cities to see in which city we can land the business plan to found your company. So I think that kind of possibilities were really important to me, because that's my expectation before I joined to that program, that in which way I can see myself within, let's say, 3 years.
Okay, and Tu, what about yourself? Some challenges you faced in picking IE and the course? What was going on in your mind?
Yeah, so the challenges at first, when I first do my research about MBA degrees, that there are a lot of options out there, and a lot of rankings as well. So you do your research, and again, back to the why you're doing it, and you have to have a list of criteria of what you're looking for, and see what fits the most. For me, IE was an easy choice, to be honest, because if it has so many values that similar to mine. The first is really it's really practical. The MBA of IE, if you read the reviews and the comments, has always been very practical, and that's what I experienced, because during my time starting the MBA, we were working on a real life project, meeting with real company representatives, talk to them about the issues, and then we work with ourselves to come up with a solution and a proposal. So it's really like real life hands-on experience. The second values that I really like about IE is young, dynamic, and very open for creative. And I think that is, well, for me, only 4 years after graduation, I really look forward to an MBA degree that has that kind of mindset. Because if you do a little bit of research, some MBA from very long history of they can be somehow too theory and somehow, really stick to the old way of doing business. So IES is always, encouraging entrepreneurship. And the third thing why I choose IES is diversity and its partnership with Isaac. I think that, well, I was an Isaac member, so I was really impressed with IE's activities with Isaac, especially in Europe. In Europe, with university in Europe, they have a lot of partnerships. They attended Isaac conferences and everything. So that was really impressive. They even have an Isaac scholarship. Unfortunately, I didn't get it, but that shows the depth of the relationship, and that just makes me feel really confident to fight and and to be able to study at a school that really promotes my values and really fits with what I'm looking for. So that was how I do it. But research to really see what really fits you.
All right. So we got you two on research. So I also wanted to find out from you first, how has your IE experience shaped your personal and professional life?
Yeah, from a professional standpoint, I realized I definitely became more straightforward when talking about working with teams, having plans, define your goal, etc. And that's I can conclude to one term which I have mentioned several times. It's the business mindset. The everything you do, you have a goal. Like when I was doing my program, professors encourage you to think and pick just one goal from your maybe several plans. And once you define your goal, you have to develop a series of actions, which is you have to take. And bear in mind that accompanying these actions, you have timing, you have a schedule. So you have in your mind a very straightforward path, that goal then follows with the actions and time deadline. So that kind of mindset can help you both in professional way and of course in your personal life, that you have a very, very clear schedule and agenda for your life, both career and private life.
Okay, and what about you two?
Yeah, I think well, for me, that experience was really helpful, back to my goals, to really understand the business way, to really work as, business partner. And the second thing is really understand differences in terms of culture, to, the diversity of each way, and gain more confidence in communicate or working with people from different backgrounds, different nationalities. And the last one, that's one I did not expect, at first when I applied for a part-time MBA, I think it would like easy peasy, I could do it. But it turned out to be really, really challenging to manage business life, work life, personal life, and study life at the same time. It was challenging, but it was worth it. Now, even working under pressure, I know how to manage my time, how to manage tasks well. Yeah, and your mind is like trained to be working under pressure and still stay very alert and open up for new things. So that was a really challenging experience, I must say. It was not easy. Starting IE, even though it is very open, but it has very high standards of quality. So and the professor shows that, and yeah. So and you are with many other different talents all over the world. So the talent, the standard is really up a level. But that's how you learn. You know, you throw yourself at the fire, and that's how you learn.
All right, throw yourself in the fire is very vivid, morbid to say and convince people to do their higher education, but good thought there. So on a personal note, I wanted to ask you, what do you miss most about IE or studying for that matter?
Yeah, I think to mention several times when we were in the previous questions, what I miss most about IE is the dynamics and diversity, because once you join to the labor market, you regardless the industry you are, but it's normal that you face to a determined group of people. But when you were studying at IE, you see millions of background, whether in the academic sense or in the professional sense. So you just listen to your classmates or listen to your to the alumni, even IE staff. You see, wow, that people can carry out that kind of life before they join IE, and you just they just widen your vision. You just widen your open your mind to see that you can choose a very different path from the previous set one. And that's I think that's dynamic is very important to for all of us, and that dynamic pushes me to think big, to just don't put barriers to your life.
Okay, very nice. And what about Tu? What do you miss most about IE and studying?
Well, I do not miss the study part that much. But I miss my friends. I miss the professor and the like very very helpful IE staff. They have because our program is pretty challenging, right? Everyone is working and studying at the same time, so the IE staff has made it so much easier for us in terms of like taking care of everything. When we flew to Madrid to really take care of where we stay, and how we go to school with all the instructions. You could really feel that they care, And I miss the time in Madrid. The weather is really nice. The school is really nice, and everyone is very friendly. And well, they start school very late in Madrid, you guys. So so that's a bonus because you don't have to wake up that early. That really surprised me when I was there.
Okay, so I just wanted to give a few minutes if anybody has any questions for Liu and Tu. Just give you a few minutes. You can either type your questions in the chat or feel free to turn on your microphones and ask them any questions that you may have. So please ask away.
Hi, actually, I would like to ask Tu, is that, sorry, pronunciation. Yeah, so you mentioned like you were working a lot of, is it a lot of the students are working and studying at the same time? Is that right?
For my program, yes.
Okay. I didn't know whether it was like a full-time program or like a part-time program. So I was just curious, like, oh, if it's a full-time, how would you actually manage?
No, it's a part-time. So I enrolled in a part-time program. Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. So just to jump in, so for Tu's program, she did a blended MBA where about 80% of it was done online and 20% was done face-to-face in Madrid. However, now with the whole COVID situation, there is the concession to do the face-to-face periods online as well, because we in Singapore, for example, have that 14-day quarantine requirement anyone returning to the country regardless of the reason for travel. But that being said, we also do have students who are in full-time programs who are managing family businesses, for example, who continue working even though they're going for classes. super men and women, in my opinion. But yeah, there are people who manage a full-time program with work as well. So you will meet a huge range of profiles at IE, regardless of the program that you enroll in.
Yeah. I want to add on to that to clarify. My initial plan was to enroll in a full-time MBA, but for some personal reason that I have to short it down to a part-time program. And since I was always on IE, I was really happy that they also offer a part-time program like that. But MBA program particularly is really challenging. You're working with executives, you are expected to graduate at executive level because IE program is really prestige. So if you take part-time program, I must say it is a challenge, and of course it has its limitation because we were not allowed to 100% focus on the study. So if you can afford it, go for the full time. Just really be back to school, and it's gonna be a much nicer experience because it laid off all the pressure of managing both lives at the same time.
All right. Any other questions before we close this session? I see that we have a question from Gaurav about the options ahead. Gaurav, what I would advise you to do is actually stay on for the next 2 sessions. These would be specifically for programs that you can pursue at IE based on your background, based on similar backgrounds. So I would actually encourage you to stay on for the next 2 sessions, the later part of the afternoon, to find out more about the options ahead. Any other questions we have for Liu and Tu? Okay, then as a closing for the both of you, is there any tip and advice you have for fresh graduates?
Yeah, based on my own experience, I think don't be afraid to try anything you want to do to discover your passion or your vocation, or maybe even to discover in which industry or function you would be more comfortable in. So then that's the first one. Like, don't be afraid. Don't overreacted about the might be incoming negative consequences. So just try, because when you take action, you immediately know the positive or even the negative consequences. You want to see by yourself if you are doing well or not. And then, of course, apart from that, I encourage you guys to try set a timing, because sometimes the cost opportunity is different when you are in your 20s and then you are in your 30s or then your 40s. It's not about the age, but of course we have to face to that cost opportunity. So, for example, when I did my academic shift from my international relation degree to the managed one, I didn't notice the cost opportunity thing. But right now, when I leave Amazon and I repick my academic path to apply for a PhD, I just noticed some kind of pressure. So yeah, like, don't be afraid, but set a timing for yourself.
Okay, thank you. And what about you two? Any tips and?
Yeah, I think from my experience, I think that many of you here will feel the same, that being in Isaac was an advantage because it works at an organization. So you would have somehow an experience on what it feels like to be in an organization, like either it's in a company or something. You feel how it's like, and that was where I find my passion in working with people, in working with leadership, and my MBA is really provide me with the management skills to do that. So, by again, understand yourself, what do you want, and then do prepare. It took me 2 years to prepare for my MBA because, since it's a prestige school, you have to work on the GMAT, prepare now to have like a good bachelor grade first. Hope that you all will graduate with flying colors. That would help you a lot in your later higher education application. And then, fill your CV with lots of interesting things and that is close to you so that you would sell yourself to the school that, you are the one that deserve a place in this prestige school. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Liu and Tu, for taking time off your Saturdays to come and spend some time with us to share about IE and some tips and advice for all of us. So thank you once again for joining us. And for the rest of you, my colleague Oriana has already joined the conversation, and she will be happy to take you through the communications and marketing programs at IE and some tips on those of you who would like to pursue a career in marketing and communications related, programs. So Oriana, the time is yours. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from Madrid today. Please continue.
Thank you, Ashika, for inviting me to share, all of this information about amazing marketing programs that we have here at the school as well. So let me share a presentation. Give me just a second. So is everybody able to see the presentation?
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Wait a second. Okay. Okay, better. Is everybody able to see the presentation on presentation mode, or do you see it well?
I see the notes on,
Okay.
not the presentation. I see the notes screen.
Wait a second. I don't know why, but for some reason, when I have the two screens, this usually happens. Let me take it away. So give me just 2 seconds, okay? Now good, right? Amazing. Well, welcome everybody. I'm happy to join today to be talking about the marketing portfolio that we have here in the school. Today, I'm going to be sharing, insightful information about the different programs that we have. If you want to build a career in marketing, and also we're going to be talking about the different, career possibilities that you will have if you decide to pursue a program with us here at IE within the Markham pathway. First of all, welcome to IE University. This is an international university, an international school where you will become a leader with a global vision and entrepreneurial mindset, a humanistic approach to drive innovation and change within companies and organizations, okay? So as you can see, we don't have a specific prototype of the type of students that we would like to attract. We are looking for, unique individuals that are willing to think out of the box to drive innovation and change. So even though you decide to pursue a marketing program here at our school, our core values are going to be present along the way. Okay, all of our programs have a touch of entrepreneurship, a touch of humanities, and also innovation. Okay, as well. And you will see it through the different courses that you will take if you decide to join a program. Okay, you will be part of an extensive global network of students, professors, and companies that share hands-on experiences and trends about businesses today. Okay. My name is Soriana Sirigliano, and I'm the manager for the Marketing, Communication, and Media programs at our school. Here is my contact information. If after the session you wanna, get in touch, schedule a call, and so we can go ahead and talk in detail about your specific profile and your fit in one of our programs. Okay. Here at the school, you will be able to choose your best fit, which means that we give you a broad set of options so that you're able to customize your education, okay, through innovative programs that prepares you for the latest market trends. We offer you different master's degrees and dual degrees. Dual degrees, it's basically combining two different programs, and you will be able to get two masters in 15 months, okay? We're going to be talking today about the marketing, communication, and media pathway, which is basically composed of the following programs that I'm going to explain in detail in a couple of minutes. But this pathway, okay, the marketing, communication, and media pathway is focused on strengthening relationships between individuals and organizations, okay, by using both a mix of digital and traditional channels. We train students to drive connections by better understanding our audiences, resonating with who they are. Okay, it's geared towards highly creative individuals with a passion for innovation and building connections around the world. You will become a natural communicator, eager to refine your skills in people-oriented context. What's more, with your driven tech-focused outlook, you are willing to work hard to overcome the challenges of a fast-paced industry. Okay. We're going to start with the Market Research and Consumer Behavior Program. This is a unique program where you're going to be able to not just work on communication, because it's true that it's going to give you, that digital market concept, but you're also going to combine this with psychology insights, okay? So combining market research methods with consumer behavior, okay? Also, aside from this, as you can see here, in this program, okay, it's unique because here you will be able to study, okay, from a psychological point of view, behaviors of people in order to customize a product and address the needs of the final consumer, okay. And basically you will uncover and understand the motivations behind the behavior of people. This knowledge is critical, as you may know, to guide businesses, strategies, and actionable plans to address market needs and to anticipate to the needs of the tomorrow, okay? As I was showing you here, you will have the opportunity to work with the top third job, with data, marketing, consumer behavior. The curriculum is designed with industry professionals as well. You will have a real approach and real experiences through final projects where you will be working with Nielsen, Millward, Brown, and Telefonica. And in regards to market trends, you see that top third jobs to have according to Forbes is related to market research and consumer behavior. And some of the positions where you can land at after pursuing this program, you can work as a marketing intelligence agent, as in product development, consumer insights, brand management, marketing and consulting. So these are some of the positions that you may land at after pursuing this program. Okay, this program is 10 months in length. It's in a full-time format. It's basically based in Madrid. Okay, since it's full-time, you will have to move to Madrid 1 year in order to enroll in the program. It's taught in English, and the intake, it's in October. Okay, you can also scan the code if you want to take a look at the brochure, and it will take you directly there. Now we get to the mastery in visual and digital media. Okay, this is for the creative ones. Okay, because this program goes in line with graphic design. It's also about, handling different tools from Adobe Cloud, like Photoshop, InDesign, Premiere, to record short PSAs, commercials. It's a year long. You will have a year-long social impact project with Llorente Cuenca, which is an agency, a communication agency. You will get a practical approach to learning design tools, as I mentioned before. You will combine the creative parts and the managerial sides of the profession. You will get a strong focus on emerging digital media trends and formats, because this also gives you that exposure to different, measurement tools such as Hootsuite, in order for you to be able to, work as well on social media strategies and to get those, numbers and interpret data. Okay. And you will have a pre-program to familiarize with Adobe Creative Cloud Suite. This program will prepare you to create and lead innovative and visually exciting digital media projects that engage users and audiences. The new digital economy needs professionals who are able to master the latest media strategies, to understand and leverage the power of storytelling and align compelling creative outlook to a brand's communication needs. Okay, so as I was saying before, this one probably from the marketing portfolio is the one that goes more in line with graphic design, because here it's, for highly creative individuals who want to actually, work on not just, creating the skeleton of media components, but actually being able to create that through, Adobe platforms, through editing programs. You're going to be working as well with photography, and some of the positions that we will be able to, get after pursuing this program is that you can work as a content creator, as a digital designer, as a brand consultant as well, and as a digital content specialist. Okay, it's a full-time program. Sorry.
I think it was an error. Please continue.
Okay. Excellent. So the duration of the program is 10 months. Okay, it starts in October. It's taught in English, based in Madrid, and full-time format as well. Okay, here you can also scan the code if you want to take a look at the brochure. Then we have the Master in Digital Marketing. Okay, this one, it's highly focused towards metrics. Okay, here you will get exposure to different coding classes to learn how to use Python. Okay, you won't become a coder, of course, because the focus of the program is digital marketing. But yes, you will be able to manage the language and to understand, the world of coding. Okay, why? Because here it's, you will have to become an avid person, being able to interpret data, okay, to customize a product based on the necessities of the final consumer. Okay, so here it's also a lot about this, and also, of course, we will give you insights about how digital, how marketing campaigns were used to, were before, basically. Okay, so you can contrast both the way to treat marketing nowadays through digital channels and how it used to be before, like, exposure to guerrilla marketing as well, which is a bit updated. Okay, but so you can contrast also how things were done in the past and what's working now. Okay, here you will be able to develop most relevant and up-to-date digital marketing skills. You will access high impact marketing career opportunities, and you will get hands-on experience through business-oriented consulting projects where you will be working with Amazon. Okay, and you will get accelerated certifications, boot camps, and internships. Okay, because you will have a consulting case as the final project, but you will also work on a boot camp with Amazon. This program prepares students to work with an eminently digital and data-driven approach that does not forget the content of strategy. and traditional marketing, as I mentioned before. Okay, you'll get to manage digital channels, and strongly you will become strong in the digital era, because the main focus is going to be on how digital marketing is done today, but you will also get that insight about how things were used to be before. And some of the positions where you can land at after pursuing this program is that you can work as a brand manager, as a CEM strategy director, as a social media manager, and also as a content manager. This program is offered in both formats, okay? Full-time and part-time. If you decide to pursue the full-time, it will have, in length, it will be 11 months. And if you decide to do the part-time, 15 months, okay? For the full-time program, you will start in September, okay? In the case of the part-time, the intake will be in April, okay? Starting English. The location will be in Madrid, okay, if you decide to do the full-time. And if, of course, you decide to do the part-time, it's going to be blended, because you will have 3 residential weeks where you will have to travel to Madrid, okay, and the rest is going to be held online. As Ashika was saying before, due to our liquid learning methodology, and because we want to, get used to current times, we are giving you the flexibility of deciding. I mean, those 3 residential weeks are mandatory, but we're giving you the flexibility to decide whether you want to take them, remotely, or if you want to come to campus. And just to give you an example, okay, because from the marketing portfolio, we have 2 programs offered in a part-time basis, which is this one in digital marketing, and we also have the Master in Corporate and Marketing Communications, which I'm going to explain later, which is also offered on a part-time basis. And basically, this year, because we have the residential periods usually are hosted between the end of October, beginning of November, and this year we received 8 students in campus, and the rest was able to connect to the sessions online. Okay, the thing is that with our liquid learning methodology, basically we have putting in place a new technology in our classrooms that enables the people in the classroom and the professor to have interactions with the ones who are taking the courses remotely. Okay, because we have to adapt to recent times, and at the end of the day, you get to decide whether you're able to come, or if you want to take them remotely. Okay, so basically that's it. Okay, regarding the intake, it says April, okay, because classes start in April, but you will have a pre-program, and that pre-program is going to start by the end of March. Okay. So now we get to the Master in Corporate and Marketing Communications, which I'm passionate about because I'm also alumni from this program. And basically, I would say that this is one of the broader programs within the marketing portfolio, because here it's true that you get to touch upon different areas within the communication field. Okay, here it's about learning consulting, strategic communication, risk management, reputation, sponsorship. So you touch upon different areas, but at the end of the day, during the last period of the program, you get to specialize on a particular area. Okay, even if it's branding, digital marketing, public relations, you get to specialize because you're going to work on a real case with an actual company that is going to be assigned to you, and you're going to work for the last 3 months of the program with that company in order to address a marketing crisis that they're going through. Okay, so you're going to give them consulting sessions. So I think it's amazing because you get to touch upon different areas within the communication field, but at the end of the day, you get to also specialize on a particular area, which is amazing, and you get to do it through a real life experience because it's an internship. At the end of the day, you're going to be working with 2 representatives of that particular company that is going to be assigned to you, and you're going to present your final case to them. So you're able to add that to your CV once you're done with the program. Okay, that's why, as you can see here, I'm putting here on the first point that you will have a consulting project with a company. You will be able to master digital strategies as well, understanding internal and external communication, crisis management, corporate social responsibility, branding, strategic marketing, and sponsorship. Okay, and you will have also a career fitness program that is going to help you to work on both your hard and soft skills in order to re-enter the work field once you're done with the program. Okay, you will have also different coaching sessions through the program. And I believe it's the perfect combination between management and corporate marketing communications, because it also gives you that, touch upon the managerial, upgrading your managerial skills and to work on a corporation taking care of a communications department. Okay. As I was saying before, the program trains professionals in several functions, communication within the communications field, because combines different things, and students will be able to guide organizations through the digital age with effective communication and marketing strategies to drive business value. Some of the positions that you can land at after pursuing this program, you can work as a PR consultant, you can work as a marketing manager, as a social media manager, or as a communication specialist. This program is, as well as I was explaining before, offered in a part-time basis and also full-time. Okay, so if you decide to pursue the full-time, 10 months, part-time, 12 months. Okay, intakes for the full-time October and for the part-time April. The format, it's going to be held in, as I mentioned before, both part-time and full-time, language English, and we will host the full-time here in Madrid. Okay. Amazing. And something that I wanted to highlight during this presentation, as I was talking about the Master in Corporate Communications and Marketing and the Master in Digital Marketing, which are the two programs within the Marcom portfolio that are offered in a part-time basis and are about to start, okay, because we are 4 months away from April, we're going to be giving a direct award for the ones who send their application before February. So it's a great opportunity to get a scholarship, okay, if you're considering one of these two programs for the part-time format, okay, to compete with other candidates, and this is an award that is going to be given based on academic merit, professional successful professional trajectories as well are going to be taken into consideration at the time of allocating these awards. But it's a great opportunity for you to speed up the process and try to participate in order to get a scholarship. Okay. And now we get to the Master in Customer Experience and Innovation. Okay. This is a program that it's dedicated to people centered innovation and and also focused on management skills, okay, needed in the job market. Basically, this is one of the CEO's top 3 priorities according to senior executives nowadays. Okay, a lot of companies are paying attention to making sure that they have customer centricity and that processes are easy for the end consumer. Okay, so basically, a lot of companies are paying a lot of attention to this nowadays. Okay, but it's a program that centers on customer innovation and the experience through the whole customer journey that the customer is going to have. Okay, you will develop your discipline of creativity. And you will have 3 final projects, okay? A client project, a social impact project, and an entrepreneurship project, okay? You will tackle business, technology, human-centered design, and transversal InnoLabs. Students will learn how to conceive, develop, and implement innovative products, services, and experiences with a human-centered focus at each step of the customer journey. This master takes a close look at human-centered design and how to find innovative ways to deliver values to the end customer. Okay, so as you can see, it's focused on the customer journey of a company. Okay, and customer centricity. If you decide to join this program, you will be able to afterwards, potentially land at a job opportunity as a designer, as an innovation consultant, as a business transformation manager, as a product designer, and as a product manager. Okay. This program, it's held in a full-time basis, lasts 10 months, okay? It's taught in English, and it's based here in Madrid. The intake starting date is October. And here you can scroll the code if you want to take a look at the brochure as well. We also offer you, as I was explaining in the beginning, different dual degrees, okay, so that you can combine our Markham programs with also, the international MBA and the Master in Management. So here are some of the examples. You can get a dual degree with the International MBA and the Master in Corporate Communications and Marketing, or maybe combining the Master in Management with the Master in Digital Marketing. But basically what you will do here is that you will start in January, okay, the Master in Management, which has two different intakes because they start in January and also in September. Okay, so basically what you will do is that you will start either the MBA or the Master in Management in January, okay, and you will skip the elective period, okay, in order to start with this specialized program on October. And so you will be able to graduate in 15 months, okay? Here are some more examples, okay, so you can take a look at it. So you can either, combine programs, or you can decide, you can also have the option to just pursue a specialized program if you don't feel like you want to do a business program. But this is a great option because you get to get your business acumen, but also specialized on one of these programs, okay? In terms of careers, okay? In terms of careers, as you can see, here are some of the positions um, within the marketing, communications, and media field where we will empower students to become brand managers, digital content creators, corporate affairs and communication managers, experience and innovation designers. You will be able to work on consumer insights as well, on digital marketing. And here are some of the top recruiters on campus. Now, also here you can take a look at, impactful career trajectories across a variety of organizations, and a tendency it's towards creative advertisement and communication agencies, top multinational organizations in various sectors such as media production, design studios, e-commerce, branding, governmental and non-governmental institutions, PR agencies. So as this is a field that gives you a lot of flexibility at the end, at the time of entering a work field, because you get to work on different fields within a communications department or a marketing department. Okay. And now I open the floor for questions, guys. If you have any questions regarding a particular program, I'm also going to go back to the slide with my contact information. If you want to ask, something, but it's more personal or profile oriented, you can send me an email, and I will be happy to assist you with all of the doubts that you may have. Okay, but I open the floor now for questions, and thank you, Ashika, for inviting me, and to all of the candidates connected into this session for listening to this presentation. Thank you.
I think we have a question in the chat. So there's a question from Tinzar. So Tinzar asks, hi, so far I've seen that the degrees are in Madrid or blended, but still require you to be in Madrid. Is that the case with the current situation with COVID?
No, as I was telling before, we have just from this marketing portfolio 2 programs that are offered in a part-time basis, which means that you're going to have online sessions and 3 residential weeks. Okay, residential weeks usually are hosted in Madrid, but since we are adapting to current times, we are giving you the flexibility to decide whether if you want to take your courses. I mean, those residential weeks are mandatory, but you get to pick if you want to get them, your courses remotely, or if you want to travel to Madrid and come to the campus, because the campus is open. 95% of our students are attending classes in person. And that is an option that it's available as well. If you want to come to Madrid and you're able to come to Madrid, because it's true that we have to, adapt to the fact that different countries have different regulations, and maybe we don't have travel bans in Spain, but maybe in Singapore we do. So I mean, that's why we're giving you the flexibility to decide whether if you want to take your courses remotely or if you want to come to the campus. Okay, but usually part-time programs are held online. Okay, aside from those 3 residential weeks where you will have to travel, but that it's up to you. Okay, you get to decide on this one. I hope that this clarifies your doubt.
Are there any
Do we
more
have any?
questions from the floor? Hi. I had a question if I could ask.
Sure.
How for someone who probably has like not as much in depth experience with marketing, but is
Mhm.
it has done some experience relating to some organizational work, but still is considering considering masters in marketing, like the programs that you offer at IE. How is there like a foundational course or some kind of to accommodate the relatively newer people who are new to the industry?
Sure. I mean, this is a great question, Ryan, because it's true that I mean, we strive for diversity at the end of the day. So you will find if you go, if you decide to pursue a program with us, you would see that the class is highly diverse, and not just diverse in terms of geographic distribution, because it's true that this is the first thing that comes to our minds when we talk about IE being a diverse school. Oh, everybody comes from a different country, but it's more than that. We also strive for diversity in terms of um, you know um, ex- professional exposure, professional experiences, academic backgrounds. So once you start the program, you would see that you will find people coming from business, coming from psychology, coming from humanities, because we believe that that enhances the learning experience. And it's true that we don't have a specific requirement for you to join a marketing program. You don't have to have prior experience in the marketing field. And that's why all of our programs include a pre-program, okay, that it's going to be able to level you up with the ones who already have that business marketing background. But we don't have that requirement. Okay. For the part-time programs, we do have a requirement because it's a more executive program. Okay, and that's why we require candidates to have at least 3 years of full-time experience. Okay, but this will be in the case of the part-time programs. Okay, for the full-times, we don't have a specific requirement for you to join a class. We don't require you to have prior experience in marketing, and you will have a pre-program that it's going to level you up with the ones who already have a marketing background. Okay, but that's the beauty of it. You will find people with coming from different fields. And I would like to share a personal experience. I did, as I was telling, I did the master in corporate communications and marketing. And even though I did my bachelor's degree in broadcast journalism and economics, because I did a double major, it's true that I mean it was more focused toward broadcasting. So I didn't know anything about handling metrics, digital marketing. But at the end of the day, you get to level up through the pre-program. And also, I mean, it's such an amazing experience because you get to learn about things that you never thought that you were going to learn. I remember that I had this entrepreneurship class where we had to develop a business plan. And it was amazing because I realized that what was important for me, maybe it wasn't the most important thing for a classmate, because you get to see how the lawyer, we were developing a business plan, and you see how the lawyer is highly focused towards making sure that this it's legal and we can operate this way in this particular country. And then you see how the business person is highly focused towards making, having a profitable business model. And then you see how the graphic designer wants everything to look well and professional, the website, the product. And you see how, everybody has a different perspective. And I ended up learning about law because I had a lawyer in my, groups. And it's a rich experience because you end up, learning about things that you never thought that you were going to learn on a master in corporate communications and marketing. You end up learning about law as well. So it's amazing in that sense.
Thank you, Ariana. Thank you so much. I think that concludes the session. If anyone else has any questions, if you'd like to turn on your cameras, or you can unmute yourself and you can answer, you can ask them, or you can put it in the
I would also
chat.
like to go back and put the slide with my contact information for the ones of you who have, very detailed and profile-oriented questions, so that you can pitch me an email and I will be happy to, book a call and to assist you with any doubts that you may have program related or regarding the admissions process, financial aid. We can, put you directly in contact with the financial aid department so you can start a conversation if you need funding, okay? Amazing. And also what we were saying about, flexibility in COVID days, we understand that everybody has a different, situation. And that's why we have putting in place, this liquid learning methodology, which is basically a new technology that enables the ones that are in class to have, interactions with the one who are taking classes remotely. And basically, give you the option of either decide, as Shika was telling, we have some students, that, for example, during quarantine, they had children's and schools closed, so they decided to, stay at home to be able to take their courses remotely instead of traveling to Madrid. But we also received during that second residential week 8 students in campus, and they had, this interaction through liquid learning. So that's amazing as well. I mean, that's the reality, and that's the world that we're living in. We have different realities. We have to adapt to new times, and this is amazing at the end of the day.
Exactly. Thank you, Ariana. So like Ariana mentioned, at IE, it is a more liquid form of learning, where learning itself is adapted to your current situation. So if you cannot travel to Madrid for the sessions, definitely, there are options to work around it, and don't let that stop you from applying for a program to kickstart your career in marketing, communication, and media programs. So thank you so much, Oriana, for spending your Saturday morning with us today. So for the rest of us who have any questions about these programs or pursuing a career in this pathway, please do not hesitate to get in touch with Oriana. Oriana, thank you once again for joining us today.
Thank you, Ashika. Thank you for having me here today. And I, wish everybody luck if they're starting their processes with us, and hope to see you around campus.
Thank you, Ariana. Now I'd like to pass the time to my other colleague in Madrid. His name is Pedro. And similar to Oriana, Pedro also manages several programs at IE. Pedro specifically looks at the business and management programs. So let's spend the next few minutes to hear from Pedro. Hello, Pedro, good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
To hear a bit more about our business and management programs and pursuing a career in this pathway. So Pedro, the time is yours.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Let me just share my screen. All right, so good morning, everyone. As Shika mentioned, I am more so in touch with the business and management programs at IE. And as you probably imagine, that encompasses a bunch of different things. Just some, kind of like house rules for the session. Again, I'm happy, as Oriana was, to answer questions at the very end. But yeah, maybe keep those till the end. I'm just going to try and get through the presentation quickly, and then I'm happy to take as many questions as you guys want. Okay, and again, use your mic, use your camera, so I want to see your faces. And this COVID times, it's nice to have a little interaction, so please do that. All right, so business and management. Okay. Again, as I mentioned, this encompasses a number of different degrees. I'm going to talk firstly a little bit about the general kind of like concept of business and management and what it entails, and why you would want to study something like that. And then I'll focus a little bit more on one of the programs that we offer. My understanding is that most of you are either finishing your BA or thinking about doing a master's after graduation. So I'll be focusing on one of the young professional programs. All right, so what are these programs that I'm talking about? As you probably understand, business has to do with everything within a company, and kind of gaining that understanding of what a company should look like, how it runs, and everything that is within it. When doing any of these programs, you're going to be looking at things like accounting, corporate finance, digital marketing, operations, anything like that. With generalistic programs, you're not really willing to or looking to become an expert in any of these things per se, but rather be able to manage a team that understands what they need to carry out with this. Now, we're doing this in a world with different challenges, and that has changed quite a bit. So of course, the programs within I will have a focus on that. And with this, we're talking probably about innovation. We're talking about different strategies and the way to lead a team. Okay, in this complex time in a modern world with technology all around us. Why would you want to study a program like this? There's several reasons, and these are kind of like the ways that IE makes up for it. So of course, when you go into business school, you really want that access to a global network. Some of you, again, I guess you're considering studying abroad, leaving your country. So of course, that will give you access to that global network. Within the masters that we have at IE, we have some with 60 to 70 nationalities per classroom. So that really gives you that global feel and access to very many realities. When we talk about global, I think we're also talking about the different backgrounds that those people will have. So of course, their educational background, their professional experience. I think it's all about, and as I heard Oriana talking about this earlier, but the very many different insights that will be on the table. Okay, so putting together a very different group of people and seeing how they tackle a problem and they get out of it. Of course, second reason would be, to get that business acumen and those tech skills that are very necessary right now. And this will be an element, whether you do a business program or not with us, this will be an element that will be there. Okay, for instance, things like entrepreneurship will be present in the program. And of course, we'll look at technology and how it enables us, disrupt the industry and helps, or facilitates our daily jobs. Leadership, again, management programs, we're in most cases talking about managing a team. Okay, so you'll have subjects like leading people in teams, managing people in times of crisis. So all of those things will enable you to really look at a situation, see your team, and kind of like finding a way to better deal with it. Another reason to come to business school, it's not just about your classmates, but also the professors you'll have, the different activities, and I will talk about this a little later, but the different activities, challenges that you will be kind of like thrown into, and the different activities that you will be part of. And most of these activities will be led by someone who works for a big multinational, a CEO, someone who's just started their own business. So it's an opportunity for you to network, to get those, precious wise words from someone who's been in your shoes and then made it. Okay, kind of like we'll tell you about that process and what that process might look like. So again, fantastic opportunity to interact, maybe add someone on LinkedIn, email them your CV, see what happens from there, okay? And last but not least, and this is something that is at our very core, okay? As an institution, Oriana probably mentioned this, but I was founded in 1973. At the end of the day, I is a family business. It's the idea that two people had. They did an MBA in Madrid and thought, hey, how could we, probably give it our own spin, do things slightly different with what we've learned during the program. And that's how the, that was the inception of the school. So again, in every single program, I mentioned it earlier, there will be an element of business and an element of entrepreneurship, okay? When we talk about entrepreneurship, of course, we're talking about startups, we're talking about different ventures, but we're also talking about changing things from within an existing company, an existing institution. So if you have a brilliant idea that you want to bring up to your boss, that would be considered entrepreneurship, and you will be learning how to do that and how to develop that project and make it succeed. Okay, so that would be the final thing. Now, where does one go with the business and management career? Very many places. I've listed kind of the different industries that you could go to below, and then I will be detailing a bit more with the options within the program. But at the end of the day, it has to do a lot with what you've done in the past, what you do with the program, and how you use the resources that you have. In terms of resources, of course, I would ask you guys to be in as touch, in as close contact with our careers department as possible. This is a service, a relationship that you will have throughout the entire program and beyond. And it'll go for from very basic stuff like redoing your CV, doing mock interviews, things like that, to someone coaching you how to penetrate a market or go through a run of interviews in a specific sector. The way we're organized within the school is by region and by sector or field. So you can have a conversation with someone who could kind of like give you an idea of how to get into finance in Europe, or if you really want to get into operations in Asia, you go talk to someone else, and they'll tell you about the different deadlines for the companies, what a hiring process typically looks like, and what to expect, okay, and what your chances are there. And of course, post-graduation, you always have the job bank that we have for our alumni with exclusive offers for you guys. So again, another resource right there. Now, so I mentioned earlier that my understanding was that most of you were on the younger side, probably finished in school, thinking about what to do next. So I'm going to be talking about the Master's in Management, okay? We typically call this program, or we'll like to call it our junior MBA, because again, it's for those of you who are just starting out, maybe have a little bit of experience. So this would be an option for you, okay? The program, as you can imagine, takes place in Madrid. It's full time, so you would have to stop working for that period of time, and has two different intakes. So we try and accommodate those of you who maybe have different timelines, or let's imagine that you get accepted for September, and then an incredible internship opportunity comes along, so you can maybe defer your start. The program is 1 year, and you can do it in English, or for those of you who maybe speak Spanish, you have a bilingual option, okay? Now, who are you gonna find in this classroom? This is a program that is geared towards people with either no experience or up to 2 years of experience, okay? By experience, I mean full-time post-graduation paid experience, okay? If you have an internship, that's fantastic. We'll take that into account, and that will be an asset during the program, but it's not necessarily full-time experience per se. So again, 0 to 2 years of experience. The average age is 23, okay? So again, recent graduates to maybe someone who's worked for a couple of years. Ratio gender to male to female is pretty equal, but again, we're working on that 50-50. So I would be really happy to see any of you ladies apply. And as I mentioned earlier, the diversity within the class is really high. So Of course, it being a European program, you will see a lot of Europeans, but more and more, we get people from Latin and North America, from Asia, like you guys, Africa and the Middle East. So again, a really nice melting pot there of different ways of doing business, studying, that will really enrich the experience. All right, so what does the program look like? As I mentioned, it's 1 year, 2 different starts, okay, but it always looks the same for either start. You will be doing 4 different periods. In the beginning, you have 2 cores, okay, which everyone has to do. Those are compulsory, and I will be detailing what they consist of. But as you can imagine, it's the business foundation, the basics, kind of like level in the field. So everyone is at the same level when we get to the next steps. Here you'll find people that have done business for their BA that know a little more, and will do this program because they want the practical approach. Within universities typically, it's a lot of theory, and business schools will focus more on the case, kind of like a case study. Okay, I think the ultimate goal is for you guys to be somewhat ready when you get out there to face real challenges, and that's why we utilize things that have happened in the past as a learning method and as teaching. Okay, you will be looking at cases from very many different industries. So again, Amazon tried to launch this, it didn't work out, here's why. Okay, that type of thing. And then of course, for those of you who haven't done business in the past, everything will be new and exciting, and with a very practical approach. Before the program starts, we also have a pre-program, as you can see there. Okay, so you'll do a bit of accounting, a bit of quantitative methods, just so everyone is ready and comfortable when the program starts. All right, so we're now halfway through the program, and this is where you start being able to customize. For the 3rd period, you have the tracks, okay, and there you get to choose. You see that there's different tracks there. I'll be getting to them, and that's when you get to pick and choose and kind of like gear the program towards what you want to do post graduation. And for the 4th period, you have the electives, and that's again you pick and choose. There's 50+ electives, so it really allows you to customize. If you wanted to extend the program, there's an option to do that. You could do an exchange, an internship, become a part of the venture lab if you want to maybe work on your project. So there's different options there. Okay, now let's talk about the core period. As I mentioned, this is kind of the foundations of business, your very basics. So we have marketing, leading people in teams, as I mentioned earlier, technology, financial reporting. Good luck with that one. Entrepreneurship, competitive strategy, management accounting, corporate finance. Okay, just the things that any manager needs to understand and know about to be able to lead a team, to read an Excel sheet, to read a balance sheet, to read an operations plan. Okay, that would be this part of the program, this first half. All right, now let's get into the tracks. Okay, and here there's kind of something for everyone. We first have international business, and as you can see there, it's a lot of I like to say about this track that it's the normal continuation of the core period, if that makes sense. So maybe for those of you who don't have a background in business, this would be a good option. I also listed some of the companies that have recruited, some of our graduates. As you can see there, again, companies in the luxury sector. There will be consulting companies, technology companies, a bit of everything. Okay, but this is a little more generalistic, if you will. Sales and marketing. This is very self-explanatory for those of you who maybe want to be in the fast-moving consumer goods company, and you will have how to brand a product, how channels work, how an idea goes from just being just that, an idea, to a full-fledged product, and how you get it out into the market. Okay. Digital business, which is everyone's deal life around. I mean, from the companies that you can see there, this is where we teach you how things exist online. Okay, so how businesses have taken that online aspect now are happening on the cloud or happening online, e-commerce, all of these things. Okay, there will be a bit of coding in there, a little bit of big data, because you want to analyze those customer stats that you get on the website. Okay, so that will be the option for you. Now, finance and investments, again, those of you who maybe don't want to do a full-fledged master's in finance, but want to have an understanding of finance, go a little deeper into that, so budgeting, financial modeling, all of those things, and want to maybe, work at a bank, not necessarily be a financial analyst, but work within, the finance team of one of these banks, or just in banking in general, but with a more relaxed approach to finance, okay? That would be an option for you. Entrepreneurship and innovation, very self-explanatory for any of you entrepreneurs out there who maybe want to get your own project off the ground. This would be the option. This will essentially teach you how you take just a startup from zero, all the way up to a product that is viable and that you can take out into the market and make money from. And last but not least, are this is kind of like the newest track, which is the strategic management. Okay, this is a little different in that it also comes with the option of doing, well, not the option, but would require for you to do an exchange or an internship. Okay, after the track, and this is a track for those who really want to be able to, or want to learn how to read data and make decisions based on that data. So again, strategy at the end of the day, okay? The employability to see there would be essentially for strategies. There will be a lot of consulting companies. Again, we're talking about steering a company in one direction or the other, depending on the data that we see. Now, for the electives, which is the way for you to really customize a program and make it exactly what you want it to be. As you can see there, you have a bit of everything, and again, more than 50. So anything that you can see there, you would probably be able to take classes in. And every year we'll add new ones depending on market trends. So, in 2 years, we'll probably have very different electives than the ones we have today, okay? Now, for the admissions process, I don't know if Ariana's talked about this. If she has, Ashika, you can maybe stop me, but just, yeah, she has, okay. So again, as you can probably understand, same process for the entire school. Again, 5 different steps, documentation, all of your details, entrance exam, an interview that could be with someone from the admissions team, and you have the different documents there, okay? And that's it from my side. I'm happy to take any questions now.
All right, thank you, Pedro. So for the rest of you, if you have any questions for Pedro, please feel free to either switch on your mics and ask him personally, or you can also type it in the chat. Wait a few minutes for any questions that you may have about IE's business and management programs, and basically kickstarting a career in these programs as well.
I had a question in relation to the tracks, in terms of specializing in certain, in certain fields. Is it considered a specialization? Like, if I graduate, will I be graduating with a degree in that particular track? And what is the duration of the modules that are scheduled for the tracks?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so not necessarily. So we used to do minors for these, so this is a really good question. But then when we saw that students and the market don't really have an interest in this, so at the end of the day, everyone just graduates with a master's in management. And in terms of the duration, let me just go back because I went through it a little quickly. But we're talking again about, as you can see, there are 2 months, 2 months, 2 months, and then 3 months for the electives. So that would be the total duration. Again, first 4 months. So first 2 months, you would be with one group of people doing the first part of the core. Second 2 months, you'd be, with another group of people. Then, with whomever is in your track, and then the electives, it'll be different people in different classes for those 3 months.
Okay, thank you. So in terms of how many modules per se will be allocated to the tracks, so will it continue throughout my term in that program, or is it only scheduled for that 2 months?
Just those 2 months, yeah. And in terms of classes, you'll have about 8. I'm gonna say it depends on the track, but yeah, kind of 8 classes. And then for the tracks, for the electives, sorry, 10, 12. Not all electives have the same credit weight, and they don't all start at the same time or finish at the same time. So you have to pick and choose and kind of like make up that little puzzle.
Okay, there are a few questions from the floor. This question from Chan Jiayu. I'd like to ask if there's students from the program typically able to get working visas in Europe after completing the program. Is it typical for them to get visas immediately?
So it depends. I think at the end of the day, when trying to get a visa here in Europe, you're kind of like up against everyone who already has a European passport. So it's always about being able to show that you're the best candidate for that position. I'll say, for instance, that speaking the language of the country you go into really helps. Okay, so because I get this question quite a bit here in Spain, of course, that would be definitely an asset. Not to say that there are no English-speaking jobs, but of course, speaking the language that your boss speaks would be a good idea. And of course, we facilitate that with free courses during the program. And for the rest of the European Union, would be the same. If they want, I'm happy to, if they shoot me an email, I'm happy to send them the report for the MIM so they can get an idea where people end up, what they end up doing. That's right.
Okay, that's a particular job which requires like good communication, but you are not having that good communication.
I didn't see there was a question there. Nonetheless, there's another question from the floor. There's a question is there any programs with in relation to project management in terms of the tracks?
Project management, yeah. So now really within the tracks, project management per se, we have like short courses, I know, for executives. But I think at the end of the day, project management really comes with everything. I know that there are specific tools and things like that. So yeah, there's shorter, part-time courses for that. But I think honestly, doing a program in business or a program in general will teach you a lot about project management, because you're going to be doing projects with your team throughout the entire thing. And for some of them, you'll be the project manager, will be in charge of making sure that everything flows. So I think that's kind of like a crash course in project management.
Okay, I hope that answers your question. And there's another question in relation to, would you recommend a business undergraduate to enter into a management related master's track? Or would it make sense in our industry to consider pursuing a more technical track? What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think it really depends on what you want to do. As I mentioned earlier, doing a program in management, I think it's a bit more practical than what you've done, during business school, during your business bachelor's. But I think it's ultimately about what you want to do later. A profile, for instance, that is really in trend right now is for really technical profiles to do a program in management and then be able to lead a technical team. But it could also be the other way around, or the way I could put it is, if you've done a program in business and really want to specialize in a certain field, do a program that's a bit more specialized, like the ones I was talking about, and that probably increases your chances of getting a job in that field, because you have, again, that experience as for business, you have the basics, and they have a very good knowledge of that specific field or whatever it may be.
Okay, thank you, Pedro. Are there any more questions from the floor? I don't think there are any more questions.
They're feeling shy.
Please don't feel shy. Feel free to ask any questions. And yeah, if you'd like to connect with Pedro later, and if you're not feeling shy, then yeah, do connect with him. The email is put in the chat. So, and if you have any questions related to the courses or what IE Business School is offering, please do get in touch. And okay, so there's a question from Victory. She asked if all the courses have been are online right now, or is it physical as well?
No, so right now you have the two options. So you have online courses and you have in-person courses. Right now we're holding classes. We're holding classes the normal way. I was going to say, yeah, just face-to-face. But if you wanted to do a program in business that's completely online, that's also a possibility.
Okay,
Typically, people will do this a bit later in their career, you know, and combine it with their job. But it's something you can do. Okay,
I hope that answers your question, Victory. Thank you so much for sharing about the courses that IE is offering, and really it is wonderful to hear your insights on business itself. And thank you so much for joining us. If Ashika has something more to add on, I give the floor to her.
I don't have any more to add on. So I think that comes to the end of our session today. So I'm going to hang around to see if any of you have any questions about IE. But thank you, Pedro, for spending Saturday with us. And
thank you for having me.
Who want specific information about business programs at IE, please reach out to Pedro. So for those of you who would want to go check out other booths, you're free to carry on. If you would like to have chat about IE's presence in the region and whatnot, please continue to stay on. I'll be happy to take any questions that you may have.
Thank you so much for the sharing.
All right.
Of course, Sabrina. Thank you for being with us today.
Actually, I think Victory added more questions in the chat.
There's a follow-up question from Victory. So she asked, is the reason we have the courses online, is it just because of the pandemic, or is it because if it's part-time, is it still considered online? Or
yeah, so yes and no. So we were lucky enough for this pandemic that we had always offered online courses, but no, we're talking about two different things. It's let's imagine, God forbid, there's another lockdown. It's for one thing to face-to-face programs to go online, but then the sorts of programs that just have always happened online. We have an MBA, for instance, that you can combine with your current job. And that promise always happen online. It has people from all over the world who are just studying wherever they are. And typically what you'll do is you'll come to Madrid a week in the beginning, maybe a week in the middle of the program, then a week at the end of the program for graduation. But yeah, that's always been the case. It's not due to COVID. We're just lucky that was an option. Hope that answers your question, Victory. No problem.
the floor is open for any more questions anyone would like to ask. In relation to the marketing, since we heard from Oriana before, so if you have any questions related to that as well, or if you have any questions related to the business management courses, so yeah.
Yeah, so networking opportunities, differences between online and physical. So definitely different. I will say that probably if you can afford to spend a year immersed in something, that typically is interesting, but also, I mean, sometimes it's just not possible due to your job, or you're not being able to move somewhere for a year because of family or whatever it may be. So there's differences there, but the idea of these programs is that you guys are in touch as much as possible. When doing a program, you will be put into groups, so you will be in constant contact with those people throughout the entire program. So there's of course an element of networking there, and I've seen for those relationships to be long lasting and to really bear fruits. So there's a bit of everything for everyone. If you can do it, you have the luxury to do a program for a year and immerse yourself completely, go ahead and do that. But if not, doing it online is definitely a good option and gives you access to a fantastic group of people. When I did my program, I was in a group with a guy who worked for Apple in Singapore, a guy who was working for a bank in Dubai. So, people that I would have never hoped to meet. And when doing a program in person, I mean, they're just your classmates. They're not even working at the same time. So there's that duality there.
I hope that answers your questions. And
is it all right if I just ask a general question? Not
Yeah,
exactly
go ahead.
related. Yeah,
course.
because I'm studying social sciences, but marketing sounds a bit interesting. So right now I saw that earlier during Oriana's sharing, it's just marketing, more focused on marketing related degree. And then earlier I saw like I can't remember the exact name, but it had some marketing elements to that one as well. So sorry, I'm not really knowledgeable, so I'm not really sure what the difference is between those two.
I think it comes down to how heavily, you want your education to be on business. If you're 100% sure that you want to be working in a marketing department or a very specific firm, you're more so of a creative person, you really want to work on the development of a campaign, I think a marketing program might be the better option for you. If you want your program to be more, business, focused, or be a little more heavily, touch a little more heavily on management skills, and you're willing to take accounting and corporate finance, a management program would be more so your choice.
Yeah, just to add to what Pedro said, I also did my bachelor's in social science and did the master's in corporate communications at IE. So as he mentioned, if you're looking at management and what you're managing itself, it differs in the various programs. So for example, in the master that I did, so that one was more like managing communications internally and externally in the company. So like the first half of the master, we focused on internal communications, employee engagement, and basically how companies can manage the messages that come out to the employees within the organization. And then the second half of the program, more external communications in terms of crisis communications, PR, corporate social responsibility. So this is the kind of communications that you can learn. So amongst the various marketing programs, you have these kind of modules at different extent. So if you do like say a master in digital marketing, you will be looking more at the digital aspect of spreading the news, getting leads and whatnot. If you do something more in customer experience or corporate communications and marketing communications, you look more at managing the message that is being sent out. So these are, the kind of different specializations. And obviously, if you do a business management, whether you do an MBA or a master's in management, you get the kind of technical expertise you need to make better business sense of data. So that's the kind of concentration that, differs from pathway to pathway.
Thank you.
Okay.
I had a question in relation to the dual degrees that is being offered. Is it in particular to say like in marketing, within marketing, is it within the different branches of marketing? Is it possible that I could is there a different option of, going between different fields like business and marketing, something like that? Or like international business and marketing in that relation?
So it's similar to the tracks, but even delve in a little deeper. What happens with dual degrees is that you do the core period of the program. So again, that business foundation, and then you do the entire other program. So you have kind of like the best of both worlds, as Ashika was just explaining. So you have that heavily business base, and in which you understand everything, and that you're an expert in something. So it's ideal if you hope to maybe one day lead a team or manage a department in that area.
Exactly. And as Pedro mentioned, for let's say if you're going to do an MBA with a second degree, you don't have to finish that full 1 year and then start on the specialized degree. So during the elective period, you start on your specialized master. So it's good that you finish 2 separate degrees within 24 months. In fact, lesser than that. I think it's 18 to 19 months. So in that sense, you don't have to spend 2 years to finish 2 separate degrees. You get it done within 2 years.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
If there are no more questions on the floor, I would encourage, because we have a panel discussion that is scheduled. So I would encourage everyone to join the session, and I really thank all the speakers who joined us for IE Business from IE Business School. Thank you for your time, and thank you for sharing and providing information about the courses that you guys are offering, and